Let's kick things off with news out of Congress today, where Republicans held a hearing about how social media silences conservatives. At least that's what they were trying to prove. The problem is, once Twitter executives started testifying, we found out that lots of complaints came from the big fat baby who used to be president.
Earlier, you testified about a 2019 tweet that was about President Trump, and I think it was from Ms. Teigen. What was the tweet about?
Please excuse my language, this is a direct quote, but Chrissy Teigen referred to Donald Trump as a pussy-ass bitch.
Okay.
From my understanding, the White House reached out to ask that this tweet be removed. At that time, up to 3 insults were allowed, and so it was our job to determine how many insults were included within that phrase.
Twitter had to decide whether pussy-ass bitch was 1 insult or 3. It does beg the question, is Donald Trump a pussy and an ass and a bitch? Or is he just a bitch with pussy-ass qualities? I love when I have to get philosophical. Interesting that Trump doesn't like being called a pussy-ass bitch when those are his 3 favorite things. Either way, asking Twitter to take down a mean tweet about you is really a pussy-ass bitch move. But that's enough about the old president. Let's move on to the new president, who also is very old. Last night was the State of the Union, Washington, D.C.'s biggest non-orgy event of the year. And I'm going to be honest, I have never watched the State of the Union before because I have a life. So I wasn't looking forward to it, but I'm glad I tuned in because it wasn't nearly as boring as I thought it would be. In fact, it's apparently got a bit of a UFC/junior high cafeteria vibe now. Even before the speech started, things started getting rowdy.
There were some tense moments at last night's State of the Union address. Cameras captured a heated exchange between embattled Congressman George Santos and Senator Mitt Romney.
One lip reader posted this account of how the exchange went down.
You ought to be embarrassed. Yeah, sure. You ought to be embarrassed. You ought to be embarrassed. You ought to be embarrassed, son. You got me? That's your opinion. Yes.
I would like to go on the record tonight and say that I am sexually attracted to Mitt Romney. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. I don't even care that he's a Republican or a Mormon. In fact, since he's a Mormon, he'll be open to another wife, and if not, he's a Republican, so he'll be open to having an affair. Problem solved. And yeah, what Romney said doesn't sound too harsh, but remember, it's Mitt Romney. You ought to be embarrassed, son, is the Mormon equivalent of suck my f***ing you pussy-ass bitch. And then, when Biden actually started talking, his Republican friends across the aisle were not having it.
Entering a House chamber now run by Republicans, President Biden extending his hand to the new Speaker Kevin McCarthy before confronting Republican heckling head-on, tangling over the fate of Social Security and Medicare. The president taking aim at an idea floated by just a few Republicans.
Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
The comment drawing outrage and boos, including from GOP firebrand Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Republicans were acting like wild animals, and I liked it. Keep this up, you guys. You finally made a State of the Union watchable. Marjorie Taylor Greene stood up during this speech and screamed out, "Liar!" And then George Santos stood up and is like, "Over here!" What are we going to do about Marjorie Taylor Greene? I mean, she's like one of those dogs that needs a big backyard to run outside and expend all of her energy, but instead, she's stuck living inside a 1-bedroom apartment, slamming her head against the wall. When are they going to put this woman on Real Housewives of Atlanta? And to be fair, MTG wasn't the only one dressed like a lunatic last night. Look at the outfit Kirsten Sinema chose to wear. She looks like she's going to a quinceañera as the piñata. For a more comprehensive comprehensive look at the State of the Union, we go to Roy Wood Jr., who's in D.C.
What's this? Hello?
Hi, Roy. You were at the State of the Union. What did you think of Biden's speech?
Chelsea, it was amazing. I loved all the things the president said. Biden talked and he said some stuff and he talked a little bit. Back to you.
Well, wait, Roy. We just started. Like, what specifically did you like about the State of the Union?
Oh, well, you know, all of it, you know. I like the part where he talked about the union and the state it's in, you know, Russia, healthcare, eggs. He was talking. He said some stuff.
It sounds like you didn't actually watch the speech.
All right, fine. I didn't watch it, okay? I didn't watch the State of the Union. I went to a bar to watch LeBron James break the all-time scoring record in the NBA. That's where I was. I was at a bar. Pardon me for wanting to see history. How do you expect me to pay attention to a boring-ass speech? I don't care about Biden. That motherfucker can't even dunk.
Well, first off, you don't know that he can't dunk. And second, I'm sorry the game interfered with your job, but they can't move the State of the Union.
What you mean they can't move the State of the Union? It ain't Christmas. It's just an old dude talking to a bunch of other old dudes. That can happen at any time. Biden should either have moved the speech back a week or just done the speech at the game. He could have fit the whole thing in during the timeout. Infrastructure good, gas prices low, police bad, but also good. Build back better on 3. 1, 2, 3, build back better. That's all he had to do.
Well, Roy, I'm glad that you got to watch the Lakers win.
Oh, no. The Lakers lost. But in a way, isn't that a metaphor for America?
In what way?
I don't know. I was hoping you had something. But aren't you excited about this? You live in L.A. You must be hyped that LeBron broke the record.
Yeah, definitely, because now he has more points than the guy that had it before.
And you know who that is, right?
Yep. Of course I do. He's the tall black guy.
Okay, so you are a fan.
That's right.
I knew you was a
Roy Wood
fan.
Jr., everybody.